Hey everyone, and welcome back to the CodeMechanic channel. Today, we re-tackling a fault code that can really throw a wrench in your day. SPN 168 FMI1. If you've ever seen this pop up on your heavy equipment, you know it means one thing? Low battery voltage? It might sound simple, but this code can be a real headache, causing all sorts of issues from no starts to erratic electronic behavior. So, let us get our hands dirty and figure out exactly what this code is telling us and how to fix it for good. First things first, what exactly is SPN 168 FMI1? SPN stands for Suspect Parameter Number, and 168 is the specific identifier for electrical system voltage. FMI, or Failure Mode Identifier, tells us the nature of the problem. FMI1 means data valid but below normal operational range. In plain English, the engine control module, or ECM, is seeing a system voltage that's dropped below the acceptable threshold, which is typically around 9 volts. When the voltage gets this low, the ECM can't power itself or other critical components like injectors and sensors properly. This can lead to your machine shutting down, refusing to start, or throwing a whole Christmas tree of other fault codes. It's the system's way of saying, hey, I don't have enough juice to run safely. So, what causes this dreaded voltage drop? Well, the most obvious culprit is a weak or dead battery. Batteries don't last forever, and factors like extreme temperatures, vibration, and age all take their toll. But before you rush out and buy a new set of batteries, it's crucial to diagnose the problem correctly. It could be something else entirely. For example, a failing alternator. The alternator is responsible for recharging the batteries while the engine is running. If it's not putting out the correct voltage, usually between 13.5 and 14.5 volts on a 12-volt system, or 27 to 29 volts on a 24-volt system, your batteries will slowly drain, eventually triggering the SPN 168 code. Another common cause is poor connections. I can't stress this enough. Check your battery terminals. Look for any signs of corrosion, that fuzzy, white, or greenish buildup. This stuff acts like an insulator and can severely restrict the flow of electricity. Also, make sure the terminals are tight. A loose connection can cause intermittent voltage drops and all sorts of strange electrical gremlins. Don't just check the posts on the battery itself. Follow the main power and ground cables. Look for loose or corroded connections at the starter, the engine block, and the frame. A bad ground is one of the most overlooked but frequent causes of electrical issues. Let's walk through a step-by-step diagnostic process. Grab your motor. It's going to be your best friend here. First, with the engine off, measure the static voltage directly at the battery posts. A fully charged 12-volt battery should read around 12.6 volts. Anything below 12.2 volts suggests it's significantly discharged and needs a good charging. If you're working with a 24-volt system, you should see around 25.2 volts. If the static voltage is low, the next step is to load test the batteries. A simple voltage reading doesn't tell you if the battery can deliver the massive amperage needed to crank the engine. Most auto parts stores can load test them for you, or you can use a handheld carbon pile load tester. This will tell you for sure if the batteries are capable of holding a charge under load. If the batteries check out okay, it's time to inspect the charging system. Start the engine and measure the voltage of the battery posts again. You should see the voltage rise to that 13.5 to 14.5 volt range we talked about earlier. If the voltage stays the same, or even worse, starts to drop, your alternator is likely the problem. Check the alternator's output directly at the B+ terminal on the back of the alternator. To confirm, also, don't forget to check the alternator belt. A loose or worn belt can slip, preventing the alternator from spinning fast enough to produce its full output. If both the batteries and alternators seem fine, your focus should shift to the wiring and connections. This is where a little patience goes a long way. Perform a voltage drop test. With the engine cranking, place one lead of your multimeter on the positive battery post and the other on the starter's main power stud. You should see less than half a volt of drop. Do the same for the ground side. One lead on the negative battery post and the other on the starter case. Again, anything over half a volt indicates excessive resistance in the circuit. This resistance could be from a corroded cable, a loose connection, or a damaged wire. Visually inspect and clean every connection point in the main power and ground circuits. A little bit of cleaning with a wire brush can make a world of difference. So, to recap, SPN 168 FMI1 means your system voltage is too low. Start by checking your batteries with a multimeter and a load tester. If they're good, move on to the alternator to ensure it's charging correctly. Finally, if all else fails, meticulously inspect all power and ground cables and connections for corrosion and tightness. By following these steps, you can pinpoint the root cause and get your machine back up and running reliably. Don't let a simple voltage issue sideline your expensive equipment. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this guide helps you the next time you encounter SPN 1068 FMI1. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to CodeMechanic for more heavy equipment, diagnostic tips, and tricks. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.